Good morning. I just got up. It's about 7:45. Well, I got up about half an hour before, so I could tidy this up a little bit so that it doesn't look so chaotic. Yeah. I was doing my meditation, and this idea came to my mind. And again, I'm following the credo of David Lynch when he talks about falling in love with ideas. He's absolutely right. Unless you fall in love with something, it's no point in doing it. Yeah. So I was doing my meditation, and and this idea came about making this film. Yeah. And I thought, okay, so I'll make the film, but at the same time I'll explain what led me into this idea. I got up about, 5:30 in the morning or something like that. And I thought, maybe that's a good time to start meditation. So I did. I switched all the lights off. I made myself a cup of coffee, drank the coffee. And then I sort of sat myself very comfortably in this sofa bed, which I have here in the studio. And I sort of set it the timer for 30 minutes. And so I started, with my Om, and so on. Yeah. And today it worked really well because I've been mentioning the difficulties of getting into transcending process, and I'm not really sure if I'm doing that or not. But because of the meditation, I actually came out with these ideas, and to me that's good enough. So I don't know if I'm doing meditation properly, if there are ways of getting more deeply into it. I'll hope to find out. But I will not pay $1,500, that's for sure. And so back to the meditation. I was, going through my Om process, and these ideas kept on coming into me about, continuing explaining, what my experiences are in terms of meditation, and also not that, but sharing as well the idea that meditation brought me. And the idea was, I'm a professional artist. The fact that I don't make a penny out of my work doesn't mean that I'm not a professional. I dedicated my entire life to it, so I consider myself an artist, a professionally qualified artist. And I thought, what about talking about this business about everybody is an artist? So no, not everybody is an artist, but everybody can be an artist. Now, how do you become an artist? Well, it's not enough to buy yourself a little berry and dress yourself funny and to be an artist. That's not enough. To be an artist means to actually look very, very tight to things, and listen to things and think. Yeah. So the three things are essential. Yeah? First, looking, seeing things, not only the surface of things, but to actually go deeply into it. And the second thing is listening to things, and listening and really getting what you are actually listening to. Yeah? I remember my good teacher Ken Keefe used to say that if you want to paint a flower, first you have to listen to the flower. Yeah, that sounds a really nice thing to say, but what does it mean? Okay, then try it. If there is a flower you really love it, look at it and try to listen to it. And if you actually get into the flower truly, you'll know what I mean. And that, again, it's very lovely to say these kinds of things, and everybody gets very impressed when you hear it. But try it, and don't stay in the surface, because that's the difference between the so-called artist, everybody's an artist, and all this kind of propaganda that It's about, anybody can be an artist. Yeah, anybody can be an artist, but not everybody is an artist. Because being an artist means dedicating your entire life to being honest to yourself and honest to everything you see. And when you do that, you lose friends, you lose successful jobs, it's very difficult to get money, you get old. Yeah, that's the other thing that I thought that it was important for me to actually to talk about in this video. Getting old. I'm a 68-year-old woman. Huh? And why am I actually presenting myself here like this without a shower? I put a little bit of water into my hair. So what? I think this is the beginning of a century, or hopefully more than that, for women. So any woman which is my age or around my age, or you actually gone through that process in which you become invisible, that you walk around places, and then, if you are with anybody who is slightly younger than you, whoever is addressing themselves to you will look at her or him. Definitely, if it's a him, they'll look at him, then you became invisible again. So that's the time for all of us, the invisible women, to sort of say, here I am, with these dirty slippers in this crowded studio that I don't know how much longer will I be able to pay. And at the age of 68, with COVID around, and with a job at a private school that is not very sure how long will I be able to have it for, being an immigrant, speaking English with a foreign accent, which, as you know, in this country is not something that gets you very far. So what? So that's what my meditation today has given me. The strength to get together within myself, to question things, and to stand up for myself. Yeah? And I assume what I'm saying is that this goes for me and anybody which is in a similar situation to me or not. Because there are women which are extremely successful, that they have a husband, always the bloody husband, yeah? There is a husband that provides for you. This has been the history of women. You need a husband to provide for you. Well, fuck the husbands. You don't need a husband to provide you. Men are something else. They shouldn't be a sort of a system to actually be able to have a life. A man should be just a creature which is from a different species, and he's got an awful lot to give. And not only his prick, sure. Sex is very good, and when you reach my age, it's got a different feeling. But nonetheless, yet let's stop, thinking about life around the idea of meeting a man, a man that is going to do so many things for you. I know that sounds obsolete as I'm saying it, but unfortunately this is still true. I know an awful lot of women of my age that they live with men that they don't love, that they're bored with, and that they have become their assistant or their cleaner or something like that. And what do they get in exchange? In some cases, maybe the salary that the husband provides. In some other cases, not even that. But the complacence and the commodity to sort of being part of a society and a way of doing things. In which, as the Chinese say, is better a husband that beats you up than no husband at all. Fuck that. Huh? This video is above all a sort of a call for any woman out there that is actually in this kind of situation, that society has put you to a corner. Yeah, you're not young anymore, you are not beautiful anymore, you haven't got a successful job, you don't sell your work, and you are not very good at selling yourself. And therefore what? Life still continues. I'm 68, and if I live as long as my mother, she died at the age of 97, almost 98. And my grandmother also died very old. I don't know. So if that's the case, what am I going to do from all these years from now until then with a pension of £425 a month and, homeless because my landlady kicked me out because of the COVID. She was scared and she had to protect herself, and I understand it. But that was the way it was. There was a pandemic outside and I was supposed to go around looking for a place to live. I mean, that's what happened in this country. Maybe I suppose in Spain it would happen the same. But that's the way it goes. So, I mean, there are difficulties. There are difficulties all the time, yeah? Either, what I just described or anything. I mean, everybody's got their own agenda and their own story. But the secret is, again, I was listening to that good-looking fella, what is it called, Russell Brand or something, and he was saying, stop being a victim, crying doesn't get you anywhere. Huh? I mean, embrace what you got and where you are. And from that point, you move on. What is it that you do well? What is it that you could do better? What is it that you don't need? So get rid of all the surplus. You haven't got the time for it. I just said a minute ago that if we live to be 90, we got a long time ahead. But sure, but that's one thing. But the surplus I'm talking about is something else. And this time we have, even if it is long, there is no room for surplus. So again, I'm diverting, and I'm going back now to the thing of being an artist. Yeah, you want to be an artist? Okay, then. The first thing you have to do is learn. Learn to actually look, listen, and think. And that's not something that you do just by philosophizing and sort of getting lovely colors together and mixing them and doing sort of lovely combinations of things that look very nice on top of your city. No. If you're going to really learn about color, you really have to look at color. And if you look at a yellow, make sure that you know what you're looking at and what is a yellow. What does a yellow do? What does an orange do? What does a black do? And that's not just the surface. You have to go much, much deeper than that. And often by going deeper, you lose this sort of presence which everybody says, oh, how lovely, I really love you blue. This is fuck all. This has got nothing to do with art. To be able to produce a good painting, and I'm not saying that this is a good painting, I mean, but this painting has been worked at for about 2.5 years. The amount of codes that there are in this painting, I don't know, And is it finished? I'm not sure. I mean, it is beginning to actually have light, but it's perhaps is not yet quite there. And this one, it's a long way to go. And this one won't have a blue, and it won't have a red, or it won't have an orange. But within this kind of subtlety of the colors, it has to work. And it's not that it's got to look pretty. No. It's got to go a lot further than that. So that's the difference between being an artist and being a professional artist. You have to go really deep into it. You either by going an art school to an art school that they will confuse you, that you will get people that probably know less than you and they pretend they do more than you, and then you listen to them and you get lost with them. People who will help you enormously, and blessed be the ones that I had when I was younger and that lead the way, But above all, is you with yourself, and is looking deeply, deeply inside. Well, I don't know how much I said. If I lost myself, I lost the track of meditation. Yeah. I was telling you about meditation. Right. So today I started my meditation. I sort of set the timer for 30 minutes. But last night before I went to bed, I sent a few WhatsApps to my friends saying, does anybody know, what do I have to do to go to Barcelona in the middle of the COVID, and how much all these certificates cost, etc. And this morning I got the replies from all my friends that kindly told me what they knew about it. And so therefore my meditation was stopped by the phone call of my dear friend Maria Teresa, who was explaining to me what she found out about the certificates and all that, And it looks as if I want to go to Barcelona for Christmas, it will cost me more than £300 just to do the tests. You need a test to be able to enter into the plane, which will cost you about 160 quid. And then when you come back, you have two options. You either do a quarantine of 14 days, or again, you do another test of another £160, and then your quarantine gets reduced to 4 or 5 days. So money again, yeah? Long live capitalism, huh? So I have to decide if I'm going to go to Barcelona at an extraordinary cost, or if I'll stay here on my own and continue to work. So I think that's it for today.